Welcome to Whispering Archives, where history doesn't just speak, it whispers across the centuries. The Middle Ages, an era we often romanticize with knights and castles. But it was also an era of some of the strangest and most brutal punishments humanity has ever devised. Today, we're unlocking one of the most terrifying inventions of medieval justice, a metal device that seems straight out of a nightmare. So, what exactly was the iron shoe? Imagine a shoe, but not one made of leather or cloth. This one was crafted entirely of unforgiving iron, heavy, cold, and painfully tight. It wasn't designed for walking, it was designed for torture. The victim's foot was forced inside this metal contraption and then locked shut with a sturdy clasp. The goal wasn't a quick end, but a slow, agonizing process of intense pain. This wasn't about execution, it was about coercion. About breaking a person's will through unbearable suffering. The sheer weight and constricting nature of the shoe would begin to crush the bones and flesh within, but that was often just the beginning of the ordeal. How was this horrifying punishment actually carried out? The process was chillingly straightforward. The metal shoe was placed on the accused person's foot, sometimes with a mallet to force it on if the fit was too tight. Once the foot was crammed inside, it was locked securely with strong iron clasps, making escape impossible. Now, for the truly sadistic part, in many cases, the shoe wasn't just left on. It was heated. Imagine that solid iron, holding a person's foot captive, being placed over a fire until it glowed red hot. The intent was to inflict such excruciating pain that the victim would confess to anything, just to make it stop. This method was documented in various historical accounts, particularly during the infamous Inquisitions, where extracting a confession was paramount. Feudal lords also used it to maintain control and punish those who dared to defy them. It was a public spectacle of power and pain. But why would any society resort to such a barbaric form of punishment? To understand that, we have to step into the medieval mindset. This was a time largely driven by fear of God, fear of damnation, and fear of authority. Modern justice systems, with concepts like innocent until proven guilty and evidence-based trials, simply didn't exist. Instead, a confession was considered the ultimate proof of guilt, the queen of proofs. And what better way to get a confession than through pain? It was a twisted logic, but they believed that intense physical suffering could purify the soul and extract the truth. The iron shoe, therefore, wasn't just a tool of punishment, it was seen as a legitimate, albeit terrifying, instrument for uncovering the truth. The effects on the victims were, as you can imagine, devastating. Those who endured the heated shoe suffered severe, life-altering burns that cooked the flesh right down to the bone. Even without the heat, the immense pressure from the device would crush the delicate bones of the foot, leading to permanent disfigurement and disability. Amputation was often a grim necessity if infection set in. For those who survived, the suffering was far from over. They were left with chronic pain, unable to walk, and scarred for life. Beyond the physical toll, the psychological impact on the community was profound. Witnessing such punishments created a pervasive atmosphere of terror, ensuring that everyone lived in constant fear of the authorities and their brutal methods of justice. The Middle Ages were, in many ways, a truly dark period, a time when metal tools of torment were used in the name of order and truth. Thankfully, these horrific practices eventually faded into history, leaving behind only chilling stories. These tales serve as a stark reminder of our capacity for cruelty, and more importantly, they highlight why humanity must always strive to choose compassion, reason, and justice over fear and brutality. If you found this dive into the shadows of the past fascinating, don't forget to subscribe to Whispering Archives for more strange and compelling stories from history. Thanks for watching.